Hey everybody, welcome to TnSportsChat presented by Lehigh Valley Health Network. It's an early Thursday morning edition of the show this week. We're busy in the middle of district playoffs for boys and girls basketball. We have wrestling hitting regionals, and then we have district swimming coming up. But on the basketball front, we're kind of coming off of seeing two of our area teams qualify for district championship games with the Panther Valley boys and the Weatherly girls.
Right, we have three teams still will be going into the state playoffs. Tamaqua boys, lost in the semifinals to Lower Moreland, but four teams will go out of Class 4A, so they're going to be in the state playoffs. They have a consolation game with Wilson on Friday down at Freedom High School, so they're in it. And then, like you said, we have two teams playing for district championships, and it's been a long time since either of them played for a district title.
And I was not born the last time either of them were playing for district championships. Was 86.
Pretty crazy. Both of them they both won district championships in 86. It was the last time either team made it to the state playoffs. So 1986. Well, I was born in 1986, but still, we're looking at 32 years ago. So.
Long time, yeah. But I think it's a weight it's well deserved for both programs. They've both played extremely well all season and played well to punch their tickets into the district championship games. I mean, the Weatherly girls knocked off Far City Regional
District 2 team, and that's a sub-regional in Class 1A girls there.
Emily's Ocean, 1,000-point score, had 18 points. Megan Pfeiffer had 17 points. They were up, I think, 12-0 early. They were up big at halftime.
Right, took control, which was big because they were coming off probably about a 2-week layoff.
Which is tough.
Maybe even longer, because they didn't make the Schuylkill League playoffs. They got a bye in the first round of districts right to the semis. So I'm thinking maybe it was even 3 weeks since Weatherly played a game. So to get off to a good start like that was crucial.
And that's I'm sure what they were hoping for, kind of best case scenario, and certainly didn't look like they missed a beat. And now they get a team in Nativity in a district championship that they split 2 regular season meetings.
Both close games, 5 points, 3 points.
And the first one was December 18th. It was the third game of the season, close loss. Last one was January 26th. It was a 3-point win for Weatherly. So district championship game should be a good one.
And both teams play in the Schuylkill League,
which
Division
is brutal.
3, right? Brutal. Nativity's in Division 2, Weatherly in Division 3. You have Mona, you play twice. You have Minersville, you're playing twice. Though Weatherly had to play Marion twice. So their record is a little deceiving. They still have a good record, but they're both teams are tested.
And we talked about that even last week, and I think you brought it up about the Tamaqua girls, where you're talking about a team that maybe has about a 500 record, but it is extremely deceiving when you're coming out of the Schuylkill League and you're playing that level of competition all year.
And Tamaqua girls proved that last night. Did not qualify for states, didn't make the district final, but took a really good Allentown Central Catholic team that ended up playing for the East Penn Conference Championship.
That tells you a lot.
Right. So Schuylkill League girls teams are always good, always tested, and should be a good final in Class A.
And Tamaqua girls again knocked off the number 2 seed in Northwestern as well.
Right.
So, and that was something I think you brought up about how you can't exactly judge a team by its seed or its record, and Tamaqua girls proved that last night and against Northwestern. So, and then we also have Panther Valley boys, which another game that was the third meeting against Marion this season.
Right.
Close game. I mean, it was
really well played game. You were there. I saw it on TV. Really well played game. I thought it was a well coached game. Both teams did a really good job of taking away the other team's number 1 score. Rini Figuera put up 44 against Marion the first
11
time.
last time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Fritz of Marion, leading scorer in the area, averaged 24 points a game. And I think he probably had 3 shots in the game, because both teams kind of went with a diamond in one, box in one type of defenses, face guarded the opposing team's score and said, hey, somebody else beat us. And Panther Valley had a couple of kids step up in the end, and that was the difference.
I mean, Eric Macharo, there's a kid that had 9 of his 19 points in the fourth quarter, hit 4 really big free throws
Huge.
in the final
Clutch.
33 seconds.
Yeah. 1 point game both times.
And I mean, that's a sophomore that played huge down the stretch. But they also had contributions from other places where they had Tristan Blasco get 10 points, a senior. That's certainly one of the leaders of that team. Perez, 10 points. I mean, it's just one of those things where they have that depth, and even if it's not Rini Figueroa that's leading them with 40-something points, they showed that they can do it in other ways, and they did it against Marion. So,
right. And we mentioned first district championship game they're playing for since 1986. And Panther Valley has a pretty good basketball tradition. Back in the 70s, 80s, they had some pretty good basketball programs. So I know Coach Crampsey from Panther Valley said they wanted to hang a banner.
Yeah.
They're going to get a chance. They're going to play Moravian Academy. Kind of have a really good, number 1 seed. We're the second place team in the Colonial League this year. We're second seeded for the Colonial League playoffs, 17-5 regular season record. So that's a really good basketball team.
It is, yeah, it is. And I know that there's no doubt that I think Panther Valley is excited for the opportunity, and I think that was one thing that Coach Crampsey talked about a lot coming off of the win against Marion, just that they're excited for the opportunity. The kids are as well. It's certainly something where they're going to be looking forward to it, and it's another chance to kind of check off one of those boxes of the goals they had at the beginning of the season.
2 down, 1 to go.
Yeah.
For the Panthers.
Yeah.
Now, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the Marion Panther Valley game. Like I said, you were there. A little brawl broke out in the stands after the game. Didn't involve the fans for both teams. First of all, the game was well played, good sportsmanship throughout. There was, no problems on the court, but something broke out in the stands. A couple of the Panther Valley players left the court. They didn't really get involved in the brawl from what we could tell, what we could hear, but they did leave the court. They went up there. We're hearing that 2 of the Panther Valley starters will be suspended for the district championship game and won't be playing, which is a shame.
It is.
But one thing we talked about just a couple minutes ago is Panther Valley went 8, 9, 10 deep against Marion. Yeah. Coach Crampsey has lots of confidence in his bench, obviously. So it's just a chance for somebody else to step up.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a case again where I was there, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for Pat Crampsey and John Patton and both of those programs, and that's just, it's a shame, it's unfortunate that that's kind of something that you... Yeah,
it kind of puts a tarnish over the game, which really it shouldn't, because it was a really well played game.
Incredible.
And like
great
I said,
atmosphere, kids are into it, I mean, fans are into it. It's just like, I mean, I covered the regular season finale with 90-65, and that was a great atmosphere. We talked about the first game they played, which was a great atmosphere. It's Marion Panther Valley, it's that kind of rivalry, but unfortunately things escalated, and that was kind of what ended up happening at Marks, which is unfortunate. Just a shame for the kids that played in the game, and kind of. But
I saw something from Coach Crampsey on social media last night that basically said no excuses. We're in the game, no excuses. We're going to win, and you talked to Coach Crampsey after the game.
Yeah, and I think now they're just kind of, you just try to sort of, I think reset, refocus, and you're still, the season's not over yet.
Yeah.
You still have the biggest game of the season, obviously, and then a state playoff game. So there's a lot still to play for that program and for those kids. So now you just kind of try to put that behind you and move forward. So. So very excited about what we have coming up as far as basketball. And even coming off of that game, I had a chance to talk to Eric Macharo, Coach Crampsey, and Tristan Blasco, and get their thoughts on the game. And here is Eric, Coach Crampsey, and Tristan about the win.
I knew if I missed the free throws, they'd have a chance. They have a bunch of great shooters, so they would be able to come down and knock down a shot. So I had to knock the free throws down. Yeah, it's been great. It's the first time I've ever going for a district championship in a long time. So we're working on going to get that goal.
It means everything. Coming into the year, we had three main goals. We wanted to win our division, we wanted to berth in the state tournament, and we wanted to hang a banner. So those are our 3 goals. We're 2 of them down, and we got the big one on Friday. So we're thrilled for this opportunity.
My 4 years, it's been a couple of down years, but we know we've been building this whole time. And this year coming in, we really knew we had a core group of guys, and we believed in each other the whole way. And leagues, it was a disappointment going against Pottsville. but it definitely humbled us, and we're really excited for a championship.
That was Eric Macharo, Tristan Blasco, and Coach Cramsey talking about the win over Marion and what it means to be playing in a district championship game. So that'll be on Friday. But we also have quite a few other things coming up this weekend.
Yeah, this might be the biggest weekend of the year for high school sports in our area, because we have district championships in 2 sports, a regional in wrestling. So everything's kind of converging here on this weekend.
Yeah, and as far as thinking about district swimming, we have several top seeds in this weekend's district swimming. We have Marion's Danny Berlitz.
Defending state champ.
Yeah.
2-time district champ, 4-time district champ, I guess, freshman and sophomore years. He won 2 district golds.
So, I mean, he's obviously primed to continue that, have more great success now as we kind of are coming off of, I mean, obviously did well at the Schuylkill League swimming meet, and, just kind of getting into that where he's really been able to shine in the postseason.
200 IM and 500 free, I think, are his 2 events. He's top seed in Class AA in both events.
And if you remember last year at States as well, I mean, he was in a position to place well in one of his events, but was disqualified, didn't touch the board on his turn. So
and then bounced back from that the next
won a state title
and won a gold.
So obviously again, he's in great shape to do well again.
Now he's a veteran. It seems like he's been there 4 or 5 years, but he's only a junior. But the other 2 number 1 seeds we have from the area are a pair of freshmen.
Yeah, and another one is a Marion swimmer, Maddie Dando.
Her brother was a pretty good swimmer.
Yeah,
a couple years ago.
And I mean, obviously, she is, someone who is looking to kind of create her own legacy, I guess.
Yeah, she swims the 100 backstroke, I believe, is where she's the number 1 seed. She won 2 Schuylkill League gold medals just a week ago.
And it's always kind of interesting, and it happens, I think, with a lot of our swimmers where we don't have many, formed teams. These are kids that kind of swim for their schools, but they're doing a lot of it independently and, kind of going to YMCAs and different aquatic clubs, and they're going all over to train, and it's all sorts of different hours. So a tremendous amount of respect for a lot of these kids that are doing it.
And Emily Newton is the Panther Valley girl, and she's in the same situation.
Exactly.
I think Panther Valley has 3 swimmers. I know Jackie Kokinda is one of them, my mailman's daughter.
Yeah.
She's a 3rd or 4th seed, and Emily is a number 1 seed, and she won a Schuylkill League gold medal last week too.
And it's always just kind of, it's one of those things at this time of the year where these kids really kind of get a chance to really sort of break out and shine. And I know I got to talk to a lot of the Marion kids last year, and they take a lot of pride in that, that they don't have the same kind of, maybe, I don't want to say support, but it's not the same sort of team oriented where,
you're swimming as independent, you're going to other dual meets to get the qualifying times. So, but and speaking of teams, we do have one. We only have 1 swim team in the area. Tamaulipas, they have several student athletes who are going to be in districts. We also have athletes from Weatherly and Weatherly, Northern Lehigh, and Palmerton, and Northwestern. I think all have independent swimmers that are going to be entered in the district meet.
And I mean, kudos to all those kids, for really sacrificing a lot and dedicating themselves to the sport and doing it because it's something that they really love. And these next couple of weeks, obviously, once we get through districts and then we go on to states and everything, this is kind of really a great chance for them to shine. So that'll be this weekend for swimming. And then we also have regional wrestling coming up this weekend. We have the Southeast tournament, which is at Wilson Westlawn High School, and that's 2A. And then we have the Northeast, which is 3A at Liberty High School.
Right.
So
we don't have any AAA wrestlers this year. Pleasant Valley is the only AAA wrestling team we have in our coverage area. They didn't qualify for the first time in a while. Pleasant Valley did not get anybody through to regionals, and but we have plenty of people in AA.
We do. We have 18 kids that qualified out of the 2A district tournament in the 2A tournament. So that is something that We're going to be busy, obviously, with regionals on Friday. Caleb Clymer, Northwestern, won his 3rd district title last week, and a tight match against Panther Valley's Tanner Kennedy, 3-2.
We had talked about that coming up, and that had the bearings of being that was a 1 and 2 seeds and a showdown, and things worked out that way. And we also talked about how Hunter gave him a pretty good battle in some earlier matches.
Yeah, and a lot of those matches were close. I think it was 6-0, kind of just kind of within striking distance,
right.
And to be wrestling that tough against a kid who is maybe a perennial kind of prohibitive favorite for a state championship at that weight class, speaks volumes to how well he's wrestled throughout the season, both of them, obviously. And now we have regionals coming up where,
what do we have, 18 from our coverage area?
So, I mean, and we had 10 in the finals,
right,
on Saturday districts.
Wasn't as successful a final round as some of our kids probably hoped, but a lot of them were underdog based on seed going in there.
And there were a lot of close matches too.
Yep, a lot of matches. Could have went either way, but the top 4 wrestlers advanced to regionals from there. So you get the silver at districts, you still get another chance, and there's a pretty good chance some of these kids are going to be seeing each other this week in regionals.
Yeah, and let's not forget too, Northwestern's Colin Rex made it out to regionals last year. He was 5th at districts, went to regionals as an injury replacement, managed to get through regionals and get to states. He was again, even if you don't come out of districts as that top 4, maybe somehow you get a chance, somebody scratches, something happens, you get a shot at regionals.
And District 11 is so deep that the 3rd and 4th seeds also have a good chance to get to states too. Now, what? 5 out of this regional go to states? Is that how it works?
I believe so. Yeah. But even when you look at now, District 11 had 4 kids go to regionals from 2A. District 3 had 7, which is incredible. But there you're talking, Boiling Springs, Bermudian Springs. You're talking about a lot of really, really, really tough competition, a deep district.
I was going to say lots of small AA type schools in that district. So your AA wrestling bracket in District 3 is you have a lot of teams, and that's why they get 7. It's all based. It's not based on the power of the district or the strength of the district. It's just about numbers,
and it's huge.
Right. I think we looked. There was like 40. AA wrestling teams in District 3, where District 11
they wrestle at the
20.
Giant Center for their so you get a little bit of a warm-up, a tune-up before the state tournament, but yeah, it's always pretty impressive to see that many kids coming out, and it's a super tough, talented, it's deep. It's really, really, really deep. Thinking about some of the kids.
Who were some of the kids that lost in district finals last week from our coverage area?
We had Jim Thorpe's John Newhall. He was at 113. We had Tamaqua Bronson Strauss at 220 pounds. He was a top seed. Wrestled a really tough Colby Flank out of Wilson, which was, again, one of those matches that could have gone either way. Same with John Newhall's match against Wilson's John Consorti. Matt Peters in a rematch against Matt Peters, a Northwestern kid. Notre Dame, Green Pond's Ryan McGuire. Another tough really match, and that's one that Matt Peters beat him earlier in the year, 1-0 at the Coal Cracker tournament. Palmerton's Lucas Chrisman wrestled against the top seed Nathan Hobart of Palisades. Another tough kid, and those were the kids that were, top seeds. Jim Thorpe's Ethan Mordaunt. Had
Derek Beckham from
Derek Beckham, Hunter Kennedy.
Right.
Panther Valley had 3 kids in the finals.
Right.
Northwestern had Jackson Bernhardt also in the finals. They had 3 in the finals. So, but Ethan Mordaunt at 195 pounds, he knocked off the top seed Colt Schaefer of Tri-Valley in the semis to get through to the finals. A great showing for him. Ethan also showed up in the off the mat state rankings this week, cracked the top 16. So a really nice showing for him. But we also had a couple of kids that aren't going to regionals really battle and do well. We had a couple of 10th and 11th seeds place 5th. Panther Valley's Chris Walkinshaw. I know Tim Robb was real happy with his 5th place performance, and Northwestern's Isaac Bredbetter also came up to take 5th, and they were both seeded 10th and 11th.
Right, and you never know because somebody, gets injured during the tournament that you don't know about, and like midweek, they have to pull out, and sometimes those fifth seeds get in.
And you move around to different weight classes. Kids are going up, kids are going down. But it's nice. I mean, it's always exciting to see kids that they kind of get rematches and second chances at some of these kids that maybe they lost to earlier in the season, and they're able to come out on top, which is what Colin Rex did last year at regionals. Kids that he had lost to previously managed to knock off at regionals and punch his ticket to states. So
we'll see, and maybe some of our kids who lost in district finals last week could reverse it this week at regionals.
And you still have that chance. So and then again, this is that last stop on the road to Hershey. So and next week we have states. So but
lots of exciting things happen. Next week we could talk about some district championship games. We'll talk about the 3 teams from our coverage area that are going to be entering state playoffs. We'll recap the regional wrestling and look ahead to states. And same with swimming. We'll recap the district championships and talk about state swimming.
Yeah, so we'll be back next week to wrap everything up. Anything else for you this week?
No, well, we just hope the weather holds off for Friday. We're taping this on an early Thursday morning here, and weather forecast is everything between a foot and an inch is what you're hearing, depending on what side of where you located. A difference of 50 miles could make a huge difference. So hopefully we get all our events in Friday.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
But for now, that's all we have for this week. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm Patrick Matsinko for Emmett, McCall. Thanks again for watching TN Sports Chat presented by Lehigh Valley Health Network.